When I think about how quickly he moved forward from me to Marjorie, that was disturbing. With all the emails and the text messages and the different things that were that I was finding out about, I thought the least that he could do, make me whole at the end of it.
Who the fuck picked Steve Harvey as the representative for all things black? Steve Harvey, let's keep this shit funky. Steve Harvey is on his third marriage. His third wife was mistress to his second wife. Yet, black people have anointed this motherfucker the oracle when it comes to black dating. This nigga wrote a book on dating. You on your third wife, homie. With all respect, why can't we pick a nigga that know what he's talking about?
Girl, Mary Harvey is done holding back because she refuses to let a single piece of Marjorie Harvey's past stay buried, calling Steve and Marjorie bullies after years of trying to silence her and drain her dry. And now she's exposing every detail of Marjorie's allegedly fabricated history, convinced her whole life would have been different if Marjorie hadn't walked in as Steve's paid escort and pushed her out of her own home. And honestly, the more we hear about Steve and Marjorie's relationship, the more obvious it becomes how much money they must have poured into building that family-friendly image. Because behind the polished surface, things seem far messier.
Somebody snapped their finger and there was no marriage between us, you know? Right. It was like, boom.
And if anyone truly paid the highest price dealing with Steve Harvey, it was his ex-wife Mary Shackelford, who was married to him from 1996 to 2005 and ended up trapped right when Marjorie decided it was her moment to sink her claws in and taste Steve's rising fame and wealth. And when Mary met Steve, he had just left his first wife and kids, claiming they held him back, and she didn't even know he was married as she let him stay in her home while he was broke and far from famous. And Mary essentially helped craft his career, supported his first family, ensured he paid child support, and even pulled $250,000 from her own savings to help him buy his comedy club while also designing the interior, believing their lives were intertwined and their marriage steady.
Family, you know, and I had someone that took up for me. I never was afraid because he was there. He was like the brother, daddy, uncle, everybody. And that meant a lot to me. And my family meant a lot to me. And he knew that because I told him about my family when I met him. And I was telling him about how important everybody was to me. I felt safe for the first time in my life. So I said to myself.
But while Mary felt secure, she had no idea Marjorie was slowly slipping back into Steve's life and gaining ground. And Steve and Marjorie still repeat the same fairy tale story about meeting at a comedy show, him spotting her in the crowd, and declaring she'd be his wife one day. A tale polished to perfection.
So I came late, came down front with my girlfriend. Our seats were right here at the front, right by the stage. So we were sitting here. The stage was here. So he's just quiet. He just keeps staring at me. So I'm waiting on him to make me a part of the show so we can get on with the show. So he stayed quiet so long staring at me. Now everybody in the club is looking at me. And so he finally realized, okay, I got to say something. He was like, oh, I'm sorry. I don't know who this is, but I'm going to marry her.
But Marjorie's path to becoming Steve's wife is far darker than their sweet version. Because after that first meeting, she didn't give Steve the time of day, he was broke and she wasn't interested, as she surrounded herself with drug lords, pimps in dangerous circles, married to Jim Townsend, a major dealer so big she earned the nickname Lady Heroin. And after he was locked up, she quickly married his cousin Darnell Woods, Lori's father, who was an even bigger dealer until the feds caught him too, leaving Marjorie broke, scandalized, and with no degree. And that's when she realized realized she needed a man with legal money. And hearing about Steve's rising star after Kings of Comedy, she found her way back, allegedly using Steve's bodyguard Big Boom to get closer, becoming Steve's side chick in an apartment he paid for, traveling with him while he fed Mary excuses, and the better he treated her, the bolder she became until she finally contacted Mary directly with details of the affair, even calling the house to make sure Mary knew she wasn't going anywhere.
The housekeeper, she brought it to me, and when she handed it to me, it was almost like that package burned my hand. I knew it was something crazy. I didn't want to look in it, but of course I had to look in it. So I opened it and I'm reading this letter. And the more I'm reading this letter, and her wording is so defined, it was like somebody was rolling tape. Her verbiage about him, like how he spoke, the words he said, you know, how he walked in the room, everything. She was like painting a picture of him being, you know, at their apartment or whatever. I don't know anything about a house.
And the moment Mary confronted Steve, he turned ice cold and shut her out. And once the divorce began, she realized just how ruthless he could be, dragging the process out because Mary wouldn't back down from what she was owed. And she said Steve and Marjorie punished her in the cruelest way, through their son Winton, claiming he came back with bruises, and she couldn't tell if it was Steve or Marjorie, filing a police report that went nowhere, after which Steve filed for full custody. And because Mary didn't have his kind of legal money, she lost, barely seeing her son again, and believing Steve and Marjorie used that time to destroy her bond with him completely.
Financially, my life is in a shamble. That is absolutely true. But it's been like that since 2005.
Why,
so this
though?
is nothing.
But why is it in shambles?
Because we have a man of power and authority, and he used that in the court. In a small town in Texas, he was able to manipulate this entire situation to his benefit, and it does happen. It
gave him that
because I'm a nobody. You know, his lawyers came in, his team of lawyers and his entourage, and, you know, he's a man with the power. He's in 60 markets. He's written these books. You know, he's socially connected with the programs and Disney and all these type people. It's easier for him to come to court and say, oh, this woman has no job. You know, socially, she is of no significance. She has no moral support or no emotional support, which I did not have, because everyone shifted to his side of the table, so to speak, because at that moment I did become insignificant.
After years of speaking out, it finally feels like people are listening, because someone said everybody knew that Marjorie was for the streets the only one who thought he could change. That was Steve. And another person said people talking about Steve Harvey forget that he abandoned his first wife and kids the moment he started to make money, and fame cheated on his second wife Mary with Marjorie, and later married her. It has got nothing to do with women. It's a lesson. If she is an angry woman, she has a right to be. She was with him when he was a nobody and had nothing. So now I want to hear from what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, baddies.